Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today, here in the shop, we are back on my great-grandfather's 1926 Oakland Grader 6 four-door sedan. Whew, that's a mouthful. Today, we got a bunch of leaks we're going to try to address and some other stuff. So I've got a job of work here first to get some stuff put away from previous projects. We've had a lot going on. But Dad will be here in a little bit. We'll have the car here in the shop, and we'll be getting right after it. So don't go away. You're not going to want to miss this. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
Just like human beings, as we get older and we start leaking all of our fluids in all kinds of different ways, such is the case with this car as well. It's leaking antifreeze, it's leaking oil, it's leaking gasoline, it's leaking rear end fluid, gear oil. I don't think it's leaking anything out of the transmission, but one of the things that we wanted to do this winter is go through and take care of a lot of that stuff. We've got to change the glass in the windshield yet. We need to get a new windshield made for it because this is not safety glass. We've got front wheel bearings we need to replace, and there's all kinds of work that we need to accomplish on this car. But I thought today it would be good to start with something, and I think we're going to start with the fuel and see if we can get that carburetor drip fixed. If we can get that done, then we'll move on and fix the several oil leaks we have over here with this aftermarket oil filter that we've adapted in place of the factory one. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what all we can get done today. But yeah, we'd like it to stop dripping. It's an old car. They always drip some, but if we can minimize those drips, it would be nice. Dad just got here and he's getting his clothes changed, and I just went ahead and took the fuel line off down here to check why we're leaking, and that would do it. So we need to pull that fitting out of there and put some Acompucky on it and get it tightened down. So that's a simple fix. Hopefully that's the only issue. Yeah, definitely. So, yep. We had that tight. I'm not sure what happened, but we'll take care of it. I'm going to use a little of the Teflon tape for this. I prefer to use that on fuel fittings and stuff like that. And for those that don't know, when you do Teflon tape, you want to run your tape so that it won't unwind as you thread it in. So if it threads in this way, you want to run your tape around it. If I could get it to do it this way, so that it doesn't unwind the tape off of the threads as you thread your fitting in. Okay. So now that won't. So if this is, I did it backwards. I gotta redo that. I gotta redo that. See, I did that to prove the point that it'll unwind. Got that all sealed up and back together. We went ahead and rebent that line so it's not quite so funky looking. Could have done a little better job, but it's fine. If I was really worried about it, we'd do a brand new one. So it's been on for about 3 or 4 minutes now, and so far we've not dripped a bit, and it's dry. So I think that took care of the gas drip. This fitting, like I said, was not as tight as it could have been or should have been. So now with the Teflon on there, we should be good to go. So Dad's over here on this side.
Was that dripping continuously before?
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it was a like drip.
Yeah.
Drip, so.
Okay. Yep, sounds like you got it.
So far.
Okay.
So we decided to go ahead and pull all the lines off of this and just kind of check things and start sealing things up again and see where we go from there. Once they're loose, you can use an open end wrench on them. Dad.
Oh, okay.
So it's just you don't want to round them with, because an open end wrench when you're getting them loose can round them. So.
Okay.
It's a lot more convenient with the open end once you get them loose. Should be it.
Got to use the right size, though.
Is it 1/2 inch? Must have been, okay. Yep. Okay, so anyway, he's going to get that tore apart, and then we'll see what we've got, and we'll go from there. All right, we just got back from a parts run. We've made some executive decisions, and we got way more than we'll ever need. We'll talk about in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and put new lines on. We bought new fittings. We're going to change the way it goes into the oil filter here. The line to the oil pressure gauge will stay the same. The line back there we're going to change. So we bought 5 feet of, yeah, that one down there.
Okay.
We bought 5 feet of new copper line, some new compression fittings and ferrules and all that stuff, all in the little envelope there. So they are 1/4 inch pipe or 1/4 inch tube and 1/8 inch pipe fittings. Those are our extra ferrules. I was going to flare them myself, and they didn't have the flare fittings, but these compressions are a good way to go.
It's all the puzzle pieces.
Yep. Is it actually going?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Well, where is it?
Those fittings are so worn from years of being grabbed by pliers.
No, it's not,
Okay, just grab it with the vice grips. It's fine.
because we aren't reusing those, right?
No, that's not the plan. So what we are eliminating is these unique fittings that don't seal very well, and we're going to traditional compression fittings that should work a lot better. I've actually not seen these on anything before that I recall. It doesn't mean I haven't, but all of them are leaking, and no matter what we do, and you can see all of the nuts are just rounded off from years of not using the right wrenches. And so this should eliminate, because I think every line was leaking a little bit to some degree. So that should eliminate a lot of this leakage. Yeah, everything is so chewed up and worn from the years that hopefully Dad's using one of Duddy's all wrenches on it. So we'll see if that works. It's the only one I own, I think. I used to have a big one, but I don't know whatever happened to it. Fits one out of the 6 sides.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a metric crescent wrench or a standard one. I'm not sure. So we cut the line off there for the oil pressure gauge, and Dad's just cleaning it up so we can get our ferrule on there. He's just checking the fit.
Not yet.
So we had to cut that off with a cutoff wheel so that we had as much length as possible, because we're not trying to not replace that oil pressure feed line. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. So we'll tighten this bottom down now and get it on there. Fighting me a little bit. I don't know why it won't go on that. Must be just bent a little bit out of the... Unless we messed up the threads putting it in there. There it goes. Okay. Make sure it's pushed down in all the way. Okay, nice and squeezed now, so that's good. I would have done flare fittings had we been able to find the fittings to flare, but they didn't have them. We had to use what we had available. We kind of have to have this done today because the car can't stay in here, so. Okay, close enough for now. How's that look?
Yeah, looks good. And it's clear of that bracket.
Not by much, but once I get the nut on there, I can do a little more.
Okay.
I want to get it tight in that. There's a ferrule. I don't know where the nut is off of that one. There it is. Okay. Put the nut on first. It's one nice thing about... Oh, shoot. I forgot to clean the end of that line. So one nice thing about not flaring them is there's no chance of putting these together without the nut. As every mechanic on earth will tell you, every once in a while you flare one and forget to put the nut on.
It's like putting shrink tubing or whatever it's
Yes.
called on an electrical joint.
Exactly, same thing. So I've heard. I've never done it. But that's why God invented black tape, right? Okay, I'm going to have to pull that line off of there and clean it more. Whoop. It's not being cooperative. It didn't come out quite as straight. It's got a little wiggle in it that I'm not crazy about, but it's really hard to work with there, so I think that's the best way to go. We just ran it, leak checked it, it's good. So we're good. We just got this other one down here now to replace. That's the main one that was leaking, was that one right there out of the bottom. So, but every one of them leaked a little bit. So Dad's going to go ahead and pull that line off. We're going to try to leave it intact so that in case we have issues, then we can put it back on there. Okay, so I got Dad's got the fittings put in down here now, and I got the line all made up. So we're going to go ahead and get this put on. So, and my 1/2 wrench. I think I'm sitting on it. Get this one swedged down real good before. Apparently those are 9/16, huh? No? Oh, it's got the sticker, price tag sticker on it. That's why the wrench wouldn't go on. All right, here we go. I think also we were talking about we could have gone with straights, but we didn't pick any of those up. But the other thing is this allows for some flex.
Yes.
So I think doing the loop makes sense. The factory had it looped, just not quite this nicely. Of course, this is a different oil filter than from the factory also. So, all right, good. One more.
Won't go on there?
Nope. I forgot to check them again. I didn't worry too much about it, but I should have. You would think if the nut went on there, the ferrule would go on there. But the ferrule is built to a lot tighter tolerances. So let's try a different ferrule just to see. Yep. Okay. We just have a tight ferrule, that's all. Parnelli Jones or AJ Foyt is driving by. I think it's an old beater, rusty Chevy pickup. That's why I'm being sarcastic. Mm-hmm. Somebody just went by here flooring it. It sounds familiar. It sounds good. It looks terrible. Okay, we will need to tighten that band up a little bit.
Okay, and you tighten the bottom one?
I did, but let's double check it. Yeah, that gives us a little flexibility in there. Much better than a short little line would have. So, handle some vibrations. Been running for a couple of minutes now and no leaks at all. Everything looks good. Everything's dry. Carburetor's still dry. So we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up now so we can keep a close eye on what's going on here. So we'll take this out to the hose and hit it with some super clean and scrub it up real good. All right, super clean is doing its job, so we'll let that soak a little bit, get the door opened up, get it out to the garden hose, and give her a blasteroni. Super fast, super easy, super clean, right? Oh, we got a ferrule right there. Common question people ask me is, what is the difference between the pump and the aerosol super clean? And I've answered this before, but I'll answer it again. And it is an important distinction because they are different. This one comes in a pump bottle and this one comes in an aerosol can. That's the difference. There is one other important distinction is this one makes your wrist and your forearm hurt and this one makes your finger hurt. And some of the original gray paint is still on that motor down there. Okay, that should do it. Our goal isn't to get it detailed at this point. It's just to clean up the oil so we can see if we have any further leaks.
And there's the block number.
Yep. Just went for another ride. We put on, I don't know, 2-3 miles, I guess.
Yep, both that.
Yep. And just one little spot leaking a little bit right there. So I tightened that fitting down. We'll see if that continues to be an issue. Interestingly, that is the only original line that's on there.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Maybe. I don't know. But and again, you can see it's dry now from driving it, of course, which was my point, and checking for leaks. And you can see the original gray paint. I don't know if it's original. There's gray paint. That could be a grandpa gray paint as I think about it.
Possibly.
But
yeah. Oh, so the original line were copper on these?
Copper as far as these?
Was this an original line, did you say?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, that's copper, right?
Yep, all the ones we took off were copper, and that one.
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't replace the one to the speedometer, which we have enough. We could, but. Yep. So the next job won't be today. We're out of time. So we're going to swap the water pump and find out if our replacement pump is better than that one. If it works decent or as good as that one, we will leave it on there until I get this one completely rebuilt, and that's going to be a job of work. So.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Looks nice to see the clean engine there.
Yep.
Yeah, and we couldn't see the number before?
Nope, I didn't know there was a number there.
Yeah, so. Okay. I didn't remember.
But we never cleaned it. It was externally. Everything was internal. So.
Yep. Yes.
That will be that much dripping on trailer floor. So.
Yes. And your shop floor and the road and parking lots.
And probably, reduce our oil consumption by 1%.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
Just a little teeny bit of gas weepage there. I'm not sure why. I think it's coming out of the carburetor itself. I'm sure it is. It's not coming out of the fittings that we did. So the carburetor was rebuilt. You can see it's just a little moist. It could be splash from driving down the road because this thing doesn't seal real well.
Oh, from over the top of the...
Yeah, or there could be a vent up there. Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
But it's an updraft carburetor, and so when you start them, you pull the choke and it doesn't start, gas will gush everywhere and back out of the, so it's they're not, well, it's like any other carburetor, except this is updraft instead of downdraft. So most of that stuff would drip into the engine.
Oh,
You'd never know it,
Yep. Yes. So just one leak left to...
And the rear axle.
Oh, and the rear axle.
Yeah. And we got to deal with it. It's not a U joint, but that joint down there is really bad. So I'm gonna have to call Wayne and find out what we do to fix that.
Okay.
On the drive shaft. So, I mean, it's usable the way it is. It's not going to fall off, but it's really got a lot of play in it. So.
Okay. That creates some noise.
Vibration, like you could tell in this thing, but the Oakland is back in its little home and all tucked in and ready for I won't say a long winter's nap because we'll have it out many times, but it's away for now. And no oil leaks, a little bit of fuel leak like you saw. Great progress today. Just eliminating so much of its drippage, which is almost impossible in a car that old to get rid of all of it. But if we can minimize it, that's a great way to go. Dad's on his way home already, and we've got other things we need to do today, so I'm going to get on with that. But I appreciate you watching, and like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. There'll be more coming on this always, you know that, and we will catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, don't forget, because it's important.